No, it's okay.
No, it's okay. Well, thanks for coming today for Gretchen's talk. Gretchen is the artist who made a piece that's inside this room called Right Through, and it's part of this two-person exhibition that's of two artists who were inspired by artificial lights in a sense. And I'm going to just give you a brief introduction to about Gretchen. Even though we are only showing our video piece in this show, Gretchen's practice ranges from interactive sculpture, installation, and the internet-based projects. Her work is often quiet meditation on our technology-driven culture, where speed is the ultimate virtue. Emptiness dominates many of Gretchen's work, and it is through our caring eyes and hands that we can see ourselves in and understand how we live in this kind of emptiness. Gretchen has received a BA in art history, is that right? At Columbia University, and her MFA from Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. She's currently chair of the Film and Video Department in Mass College of Art in Boston. Her video work has been screened at New York Film Festival several times, International Film Festival, Rotterdam. The drive-through, the piece on view in this exhibition was included in the 2008 Whitney Biennial, along with not yet titled, an accompanying installation of reconstructed version of some of the light fixtures shown in her video. Drive-Through was also screened at Waxman Center for the Arts in 2010. Her other installation and sculpture work has been exhibited in venues such as Mattress Factory, Pittsburgh, and Mass College of Art Gallery. She has also received many prestigious artist-in-residence grants, such as McDowell Colony and the Corporation of Yaddo Residency, among many. Well, please welcome Gretchen.
Thanks, Jack, for such a nice introduction.
Thank you.
So, I've known Jan and his wife Hong San for, what, maybe 7 or 8 years now, I guess?
7 years.
Yeah, and they've both been very important to my art practice, so it's quite an honor to be curated into this show and then to have Jan introduce me. I'm not sure when I first met them, I'm not sure that I could look into the future and see that. So what I thought I would do is, I'm actually going to go through, I guess, a selected version of the last 10 years of my practice. I'll show slides for some of the pieces, some of them I'll just talk about, so I'll try and keep those, the pieces I'm not going to show any documentation from short. And then I thought I would show a more contemporary video from 2008 called Late Parking, that's about 12 minutes long. So I know that people always say this, right, but that they want to have a conversation, which, of course, in this kind of format where I'm up in the front and you guys are out there, it's probably not perfectly constructed for that. I guess we need to be in a circle or something like that. But, feel free to interrupt me at any point, or, if you have questions or you want to make comments, of course you don't need to, but I welcome the interruptions. So I think I said that I wanted to thank you already for coming out tonight, but the paradox between artists, or behind artist talks, is that they're much easier to listen to than they are to present. I teach, as Young said, so I often stress to my students that it's important for them to be able to speak about their work. Having said that, though, I can't think of any task that's more challenging. The longer I work as an artist, the more I appreciate the intangible qualities of art that are easiest to experience by viewing. Okay, so I think of it as kind of a visual emotional resonance. So So this quality is both what makes art special and at times challenging to articulate. So, but I'm sure, how many of you are artists here? Yeah, okay. So quite a number. Are some of you students? Okay, everyone's been a student at some point, right? So I guess everyone qualifies for that. Okay, let's see. So in all of my work, I'm interested in the isolation of small details, both for their beauty and for their ability to repeat and combine in order to create larger, fuller experiences. In constructing pieces, I mostly gravitate towards minimalism, but I'm also a big fan of humor and play, and they both exist throughout my work, whether revealed in unpredictable sound bites in video work or unexpected moments in installations. So I've been told that it's going to beep every time somebody goes into the opening next door, and at points I'm sure they're going to laugh and have a good time, so we could just hop over for a minute and then come back. But, so let me know if you want to do that too. Okay, so currently I'm mostly working in video and installation. My installation work encompasses interactive works, sculptural work, and light works. My videos work both as single channel, pieces that we show in festivals, as Young mentioned, and as loops in galleries and museums. Okay, so I thought I'd start with a brief summary of some of my work from grad school, a little over 10 years ago. And actually, I don't have slides from the first piece, but my very first semester I got there and I was like, oh, there's all this equipment. I'm going to make a multi-channel installation. So I made an installation that had 18 channels of video. And so I had a friend document different parts of my body, so my elbow, my knee, my hip, so things that were, you could recognize them as body parts, but that they sort of looked like landscapes, so they were kind of abstracted from a body. And I grouped them in pairings of bodies, not pairings, but in groups of 3. So, you know, there would be 3 elbows that were slightly different colors, and they would be moving either a little bit slower or quicker than one another. So I set that up, I think about 4 times. I was just like, I can't do this anymore. One of my professors said, so, is this your rig? And I just thought, I want a smaller rig. You can put in your pocket. Or he was somebody that is he still is an interactive computer musician, so, you know, he always loads a lot of equipment in, they do a performance, and he leaves, and I just, after checking out the whole equipment cage, 4 times I was done. I also didn't have a car, so that makes it a little bit more difficult to get your equipment around. Okay, so after that I made a series of performance videos where I used my body, either performing an action on it, or having people perform actions on me. So this is from a piece called Housework, where I vacuumed my body. So it's a single take piece. It lasts about 3 minutes. So the sound is first the vacuum scraping on the floor, and then the vigorous sounds of a vacuum cleaner being applied to the body. And we did it 22 takes, and we ended up using the second one. So hindsight, I wish I had known that. I was pretty red by the end of it. I also made another piece called Germ Free, where I put Lysol on my body. And then, and I also made, I did a series of performance videos, and one of them was called Waiting to be Touched. So I put on a patient gown and laid on a large metal table. There were maybe 20 people there, and participants applied the 4 elements, earth, water, wind, and fire, to me for about 45 minutes. So by the end I was really dirty, I was freezing from the cold water, because it was February in upstate New York, and part of my gown had been burned. So I think for all these works, what I was trying to do is look at feminist notions of the female body as object, as societally restrained, and also as healer. I think also that my work was in response to being in a really tech environment. So I was at, you know, a big engineering school, and there was this small little electronic department in the basement, and so I was trying to make connections to people like in a sort of low-fi way. Okay, for my thesis installation, I created a large light box installation. So, and the photographer that took the stills for me, he thought it'd be a good idea to have them in black and white, so they were going to see us in black and white, even though this was a fully utilized color piece. So the light box is about 8 feet long. It's like 4 or 5 feet tall, and then the partition that makes the light box is actually about 2 feet tall. And so inside there are these, what I call little robots. They're actually on train tracks, and they have big false eyelashes that they blink at one another, and so they're moving towards each other and away from each other. So the idea here was to explore ideas of attraction and repulsion, and to have it be sort of this repeating dance over and over again. You know, they get closer to each other, and then they move away from one another. So I guess if we go underneath, there's barbed wire that's been kind of wrapped around the cage. There's some LED lights, and then various electronic components. And also there was honey that was dripping down, and on the monitor in front, those eyes are struggling to stay open while honey's being dripped into them. So there's just a big connection between the two parts of the installation. So you could just see a little bit closer. Okay, so now we're going to fast forward a couple of years, past a couple more videos, and a complicated installation. I should also say this installation was pretty complicated. It was sort of like having a young child, because it was very delicately constructed. So if anything went wrong, it would start crying, it needed immediate attention. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about 2 videos that I made that are collage videos. So the first one, Single White Female 29 Seek Self from 2004, was my response to a personal ad that I took out in the New York Village Voice and a local paper in Albany, New York, with the tagline, Single White Female 29 Seek Self, and a phone number. When people called the number, they heard me read a slightly revised version of Aristophanes' speech on love from Plato's Symposium. So you might be familiar with the story from the song The Origin of Love from Hedwig and Ingrid Inch. So it's this idea that people first they were really happy, and they had 4 arms and 4 legs, and they were either man and woman together, man and man, woman, woman, and the gods got angry, so they divided them. So the 2 halves from hunger and neglect, they were reaching out and trying to find each other again. So I thought that was really beautiful, so I stole it and put it on an answering machine. And the interesting thing about people calling in is that a lot of them were not, I'm not sure if they were familiar with the source material, so I think they thought I was a really good writer. But I, in part I'm making that joke because the responses I got were pretty overwhelming for me, actually. Because I made the piece and I sort of put my voice out into the world like that because I was mourning a relationship that I had lost. And I thought, what would happen if I took a chance and threw my coded message out into the world? But in return, I received messages that were intense, funny, clueless, and, as I said before, overwhelming. I had several people call multiple times and feel like we had a really strong connection, describe their dreams to me, and yeah, I hadn't really expected that. So what did I do? I recorded them all off the voicemail and I put it aside. The interesting thing about doing work like that for the first time is I hadn't thought like what I would do, if I got responses, like I hadn't sort of figured out my next step. And then I realized I was too overwhelmed to have a next step, so that I would sort of just put it aside. Okay, in my defense, my roommate helped me record the messages. He also thought it was a little freaky, some of the responses.